Hello again, this is Randy. Welcome back to the shop. Had a few projects that I've been working on, and over the holiday went to a big flea market in Howard City, Michigan, and picked up a few items. I picked up a box of collets, 5C collets. These are all South Bend, Hardinge, or Sutton. I cleaned a few of them up. I got the rest of them soaking in automatic transmission fluid. They weren't rusted real bad, just had some light surface rust on them. And I picked up a set of Starrett hermaphrodite calipers. And these are what they call the lock lever ones. Most of them are the fixed blade, but these here are the lock lever ones. And what this does is it fine adjusts. And how these work is you take a rule. Say you want to make a line at the 3/4 inch mark. You just line it up like that. On your 3/4 inch mark. Tighten this top wheel down good, and you just lay this on your work and just scribe across it like that. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Just like that there. And if you want to make a little change, why you just tighten this up a little bit, and then you put it back in. And you scribe your line. See, most guys use a caliper, but that's kind of hard on the tips of the caliper. If you want to make this a 1 inch line, take your caliper and move it to the 1 inch line like that there, and you just scribe across it. My tip really ain't down far enough. You want to try to hold this as close to parallel as possible. Like that there. And then what you can do too, if you have these two boxes of adjustable parallels, or not parallel, adjustable reamers. Goes all the way from 5/32 to 9/64 is the smallest one, and the biggest one goes from 1.25 to 1.5 inches, I believe. 1.21/64 to 1.5 inches, or 33.5 millimeter to 38 millimeter. And I don't think these have ever been used. A couple of the small ones I believe have been used. This one has been used. This is a 39/64 to 45/64, or 15 millimeter to 17 millimeter. But I thought that'd be pretty handy to have in the shop, so and the price was right. The other thing I've been working on involves these here. These are 2 cast iron barbell weights, and I tray-panned the center of mount, and then machined a flange joint, a positive on one and a negative on the other, fitted the 2 pieces together to make a new quill lock for the mill. I seen on Stefan Gottswinner's website where he had made one for his Optima mill, and I thought that was a very good idea. Could not find a piece of cast iron the right diameter for a reasonable price, and I didn't really want to spend $140 to get a piece of cast iron from McMaster Car. So, and I had these laying around, so I figured, shoot, I'll just cut the centers of them out and make them interlock like I said, and machined the ID, mic'd the spindle, machined the ID of my collar to about 1/1000 small, and then I went over to the Sun and Home because I had a mandrel big enough. I have a mandrel that goes from 2.8 inches to 3 inch, and I honed the center of the collar for an 8/10 slip fit on the quill, because the quill was not exactly straight either. It was 3/10 difference from the top to the bottom, and then put a slot in it, slit it, and cut the end. I'll include a picture of what it looked like, and it uses a 1/4 inch 18 hex head bolt to flex the collar just enough to lock the quill. This is what that looks like. You tighten this pinch bolt here because this part of the collar flexes and locks on the quill, and I put an oil groove on the inside of it and put a ball oiler in the collar. The real challenging part was milling the bottom of this flat, and that proved to be quite an endeavor. And this is my setup here for how I milled that. I had a big angle plate, drilled and tapped 4 1/2-inch holes in this here, and drilled 2 more holes here, and machined this piece of aluminum to hold the end of a high-speed electric die grinder, and put a slit in it on the back side here with a threaded Allen bolt in to pinch, so this holds good. And I used a 4-flute carbide end mill and used the X and Y travel of the table to mill the bottom of the casting flat. I had to mill about 3/8 of an inch off to mill it flat. and then there's 5 1/4-inch cap head set bolts that are drilled into this bottom of this casting to hold this in place. And it works real good. And then you just take an Allen wrench, tighten this down real lightly, locks it in place absolutely perfect. I don't get any deflection in the quill at all. And the last thing I got to do is I got to make a knob that will extend to the side here, so I don't need to use an Allen wrench. And that's what I'm going to work on today. And I got one short clip shows milling all this off. I'll include it in this video. So let's get started on making the knob for this here. All right, I got a piece of material in the lathe here. Going to be working on making the screw for the new quill lock. Piece not centered up very good. I gotta move the camera. Okay, the first 2 inches here I'm going to turn down to 3/8, and then the next inch is going to get turned for 1/4-20. All right, let's check our size here. 402. So we've got to take 27 thousandths. I'm going to take that in 2 passes. See what we got left here. $13.5 thousandths to go. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're 1 up on size, but that's okay. Now we got to turn 1 inch back to 1/4 inch to get tapped for 1/4 20 thread. 28 thousandths to go. Alright, I'm going to make a spring pass on this here, because I'm about 2 thousandths big on the end. About 2/10 under, so that's good. All right, I'm going to chamfer this edge here and this one, and I'm just going to break the edge here. Now I'm going to get a threading die, and we're going to thread this portion of it. Here we go. Use a drill chuck to help keep it centered. Cutting oil on there. Slide that out of the way. Like that. Flip the die over to make sure it gets tapped flush all the way to the shoulder. Not that it really matters, but when you flip the die over and come in again, then you can thread it all the way to the shoulder. like that. All right, that part's done. Now I'm going to turn it around and we'll finish the other end. What I'm going to do here for this step is I'm going to adjust the angle on my compound. I'm going to turn a slight angle, angling this piece out to this diameter. I'm going to go with like a 15-degree angle. Let's see what we got here for tool. All right. Alright, got that part of it done. Now I'm going to chuck up on this a little further. I'm going to turn a ball on the end. Then I'm going to put it in the mill and drill and ream a 1/4-inch hole for a 1/4-inch pin to go through there. Alright, here we go. All right. Now I got to make the 1/4 inch pin that's going to go through here, and that'll be to the mill to drill and ream a 1/4 inch hole in this. All right, I got you set up at the mill here. I'm going to center drill this. Drilling a pilot hole through here first. Okay. Put a little chamfer on there. Part over up and flip it over. That'd be good. Now we'll see if the pin fits. Yeah, that'll be good. Yep. Clean this off, put a little red Loctite on it, and we'll be good. Well, there's the new lock nut installed. Right there, I have free movement of the spindle, and when I turn it that far, the spindle is locked. It works exceptionally well. It was a lot of work to mill off the bottom of this casting here. Spent about 5 hours doing it. I had to make 2 passes. First pass was about 125 thousandths, and the next pass was about 300 to get this flat but I'd say it was a success. It works really good, and because the other lock, depending on how tight you tightened it, would sometimes influence the spindle. So when I saw that video that I found on Stefan's website from about 7 years ago, I thought that was an excellent idea. So this isn't totally my idea, it's my version of it, and it works perfect. So well, that's gonna be a wrap on today's video. Hope you got a little something out of it. It was a challenge for sure, trying to figure out how to interlock those two pieces of cast iron together, because I really needed a piece that was 1 inch thick, and by the time I got it machined down, each piece was about 600 thousandths thick. I was going to try bolting them together, but then I got to thinking about the interlocking them together by machining a negative step on the one and a positive step on the other. I made it about 1/2 thousandths interference fit. Took a heat gun and heated the positive part up, or the negative part up, to a couple hundred degrees, and then just slid them together and let it cool while they were locked. And then once I got the part honed out, got the spindle up in there with it on it, then I had to worry about how I was going to drill and tap the holes in the head casting of the mill. But it all worked out in the end, and it was a good result. So anyway, hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.